Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome to this whiskey review where today we're going to be starting another little mini series into some Suntory products. This time we're going to be looking at the Chita single grain whiskey from Suntory. Now if you have missed some of my last videos into some of the Nika portfolio, I'll leave it linked in the top corner. Feel free to go and check it out, and if you have any other videos you'd like me to post in the future, leave it down below in the comment section, because I have got a list at the minute of some that we're going to be working through in the upcoming weeks. So, the Chita. Many people, when they hear the word Suntory or Suntory whiskey, they think straight away of the Yamazaki, the Hakushu, and the Hibiki. However, many people don't realize that the Chita is the single grain whiskey, and it's pretty much one of the major components that goes into making Hibiki, the blend. So I've got my Aquavite challenge coin. I'm going to keep that down here for a second and take you through the Chita single grain whiskey. So it is a no age statement whiskey, as they don't really have many age stock, but they mainly do put that into the blends. It is bottled at 43%. The distillery itself is the Chita Grain Distillery. They're owned by the parent company Suntory, who do own Yamazaki, Hakushu, Toki, and Hibiki, and they are located on the Chita Peninsula in Japan. Now, the average price point on that bottle is around about £50 here in the UK. If you go to the local whiskey shops, you'll see it around about 50, sometimes down at 40. But when you're in travel retail, you will find this on deals, sometimes 2 for 70, 2 for 50. And that's where I saw this. I saw a mix and match offer for 2 whiskies, and that was in the mix. And I said, you know what, let's just pick it up. It's £25. And it's something very interesting to try, because I'm a big fan of grain whiskey. So it's going to be interesting to see. I saved around about, I think, £25 on the regular retail price. Is it exclusive? You're going to probably be asking me. No, it's not, as they do produce a lot of this. So it's not exclusive. You will be able to find it. So it's not one of those ones to put away. So anyway, let's just get straight into the whiskey review, into the nose. Straight away on the nose, those grainy characters are here. You're getting a lot of confectionery, a lot of sweet, as if you walked into a sweet shop and you can just smell the different sweet aromas surrounding you as you just want to make your way through and make your selection. And first things up, for me, whenever I try a grain, and I highly recommend if you've got a grain at home, give this a nose and let me know what you think. Especially if you've got the Chita, grab along with me and let me know what you think down below in the comment section. To me, I get this coconut character, but it's more like desiccated coconut, which is coconut shavings. It really gives me that nice sweeter, but at the same time, a little bit of this tropical fruity approach. There is a little bit of lemon, a hint of it in the background, and it's like a lemon sherbet, but it's not too sweet. It does have a little bit of its zing. There's even a little bit to me that's like a polished oak, because if you've just been doing some housework and you can just smell that oaky character coming off the table. There's even, for me, this is actually very interesting. I was thinking of bananas there, and it just reminded me of a cake we get sometimes at Christmas time called a banoffee cake or banoffee pie. Combination of banana and toffee together. And there is a little bit on this one that reminds me of salted almonds. There's a bit of a savory character, a bit of nuttiness, but it's definitely there. It's sitting there right on the end. It's not really so notable, but it's a very faint smell, this one. But overall, quite a sweet nose, and that's one thing I like about grain. It's actually quite sweet to get into and very easy. So, into the palate next, Slanger. Texture-wise, it's very light. It's almost watery as you take it onto the palate. Hold it there for a little bit of time. I'd say around about 3 to 5 seconds. Then it's going to develop. It's going to have an oily effect. It's going to coat your palate. It's almost like if you had olive oil and you just take a few drops of that and you put it all over the palate where it's coated absolutely everything. That's the texture that you're getting from this whiskey. It's really interesting how it went from light to oily very quickly, but you're greeted straight up with those sweeter characters, that honey. It's almost like even a bit of apricots. Maybe you've taken the apricots, you've combined them together with the honey, and you've got honeyed apricots. Yeah, a little bit like that. You get a little bit of this jackfruit character coming through, fresh jackfruit, and then it works itself into a sweeter note again. And for me, straight up on the back, it just reminds me of a vanilla sponge cake, but we call it a Victoria sponge, where you've got a nice thick layer of icing in the middle, butter icing, sweet, dusted over the top with a bit of icing sugar, and a little bit of jam. But actually, I'm going to substitute the jam with a little bit of marmalade because it's got that little bit of citrus character, which it doesn't have in terms of strawberry notes. It does have almost like a syrupy character as well on the end there. There is a faint bit of spice, and it gives you almost like a herbal note just on the end as it's finishing through. It doesn't have a very long finish. So I'll take this last sip and we'll come to my conclusion on the finish. So overall opinions now on the finish of this whiskey. I'm going to pop this over here. For me, the Chita does have a little bit of that herbal character. It's got a little bit of a, I'd say, it's got a little bit of heat that sort of comes back at you, which you don't really expect. But it does have all these nice sweeter notes. I'm getting a lot more of that butter icing, a little bit of icing sugar. Definitely coconut cream. And it just sort of makes you want to go back. And I can definitely tell this bottle already, I've only visited it a few times, but it's one of those whiskeys that you can really just sit with and thoroughly enjoy. So in terms of my comments on this whiskey, do I think it's worth it at £50? This is where I have to sort of lay the law when it comes to this. And I have to say £50 is too much money. It's double the price that I think it should be worth. 35 tops, yes. £50, I've got a big issue with that. If someone said to me, I went and bought this for £50, I'd say you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot. It's only around about 25 to 35 pounds in my eyes, its value. Does it need water? Does it need time? What's the complexity, you must be asking? It does have not very much complexity. It's a grain. This is not a very complex grain. It's quite youthful. However, it is very well rounded. And at that too, in terms of does it need water? A few drops of water doesn't hurt, and I actually can see this one being used in a Mizuwari style or even in a highball, because I've seen a lot of people experiment, and I'm planning to do that even to give it a little try to see how versatile this whiskey is and how much can someone actually play with it. Does it need time? A little bit of time does open it up, but don't give it too long. If you give it 15 minutes in the glass, it's probably going to go quite soft. So I do recommend, if you do have like a challenge coin or something to keep it covered so it can just sort of keep it closed. Let all those flavors be contained. But overall, rating wise, I'm going to give this one an 82. Reason behind that is I just really am not supportive of this £50 price bracket. I think 35 tops is what I would pay for this one. If I saw someone buying it at 50, I would feel bad, because it's something that I feel the company should realize. If you can produce a lot of it, let people enjoy it for a good value. Don't throw it into the market at £50, £60, as I've seen in some places. It's a grain whiskey. They can produce a lot of it, but let people enjoy it. Don't let them get ripped off with a price point. So on that note, I'm going to be quite real with you guys and say it is much higher than, it's double the price, so I'm really pulling it down. I love the flavor profile, but price is really just killing this one. So 82 out of 100. Let me know what you think of the Chita down below. I love this style of whiskey, but I just don't love the price. That's just from me. But if you have enjoyed the whiskey review, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button over there if you're new to my channel. I'll leave some other Suntory whiskey reviews. If you guys haven't seen my Yamazaki, Hakushu, and even Chita reviews, sorry, not Chita, Hibiki reviews, I'll leave them on the screen. But it's been me, JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Sludge.